we normally begin with a prayer. So I'll be glad if one of us would devote himself to give us a very short prayer so that we begin.
Let me pray.
Okay.
Heavenly Father, we thank you once again for putting us here together to learn and listen. We pray and also ask that you take absolute control over everything we'll be doing here this evening. In the mighty name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Banini. Akpe. Yes, thank you once again. Members, welcome to our edition of SP program. Today we are discussing about having an entrepreneurial mindset. You know, as youngsters or as graduates, as students or as young Ghanaians, it is always important for us to have business mindset or an entrepreneurial mindset. Many a times the academia has, you know, blamed the industry, and industry, this survey has blamed academia that they are not, each other is not trying to help the system. And over the time, government has come in so that academia and industry forge together in order to help the system. Yes. And as we have always known, to have business mind, or when you come out from school, job availability is always a challenge. For that matter, it is good if you become your own boss. It is good and it helps yourself, it helps the system. For that matter, today we have set this topic for us to educate ourselves and how we can have this mind of business or having this entrepreneurial mindset. Yes, it is a good thing. And before you can even do that, you should have a paradigm shift. You should have a renewed mind, not what you studied in school or what you have been taught traditionally to do. There is a way of doing that, or there is a special way, there is a special path that you can follow in order to have that entrepreneurial mindset. On this note, today our speaker is a renowned entrepreneur. He happens to be my own boss. He is the president of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Ghana. He owns a giant business in the Western region and across the length and breadth of Ghana. For this hard work, he is now sitting on the highest seat as the president of Chamber of Commerce. His name is Abbas Mienzan, popularly known as Abbas. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mr. Abbas Mienza to take us through having entrepreneurial mindset. Thank you. Mr. Abbas.
Yes, hello.
The floor is yours now.
Good evening to everybody present. I hope you are all doing well.
Yes, we are doing well.
Great. Let me first of all express my greatest appreciation to invite me to this important webinar to share a few thoughts. I must say that it is so important to me that I had flown out of the country. I just came this afternoon, and I still give the assurance that yes, I'll be present, in spite of the tiredness that I'm suffering. It is so. This program is so important to me that I had to do everything possible to be present. So I did not take it for granted. So to those of you who organized this and invited me, I really, really appreciate it. I have intentionally set on my camera so that everybody can see me. Those who have never seen me before, you can have the first opportunity to ever see me on in your videos. Am I clear, please? Am I clear?
Yes, you am.
All right. So that is just you. Can anybody also respond that if I'm clear?
Yes, Chairman, you are clear.
Yes, right. So thank you all very much. I'm going to try and make this very interactive so that if anybody, so in the course of my presentation, if anybody has something to ask or to contribute per curiosity or per suggestion or just raise your hand. Is that okay? Hello?
Yes, please.
Yes, that's okay.
All right, thank you. So the topic is entrepreneurial mindset. That is a topic that has been given to me to share with you today. But I want to first ask a question. Are entrepreneurs born or they are created? Are entrepreneurs born or they are created? Anybody wants to make give an answer to it? Are entrepreneurs born or they are created?
Yes, we have to answer this question.
Oh yeah.
I think as a moderator, I would like to give the first shot. It's a two-way affair. Entrepreneurs are born and they are created. Some people naturally are born entrepreneurs, and some are also born not having that entrepreneurial mindset or that gift. But in the course of their experiences in life, in the course of where they find themselves and hard work, they try to learn the experiences or the tactics of businesses and entrepreneurs. By so doing, they become business moguls or they become entrepreneurs.
Okay,
so it's a two-way affair.
That is a perfect answer.
Thank
Entrepreneurs are born and some are created. It's a perfect answer. But there's something that distinct the two. A born entrepreneur and a created entrepreneur, there's something that distinct the two. So that is what I'm going to share with you today. Okay? So that you will know that, oh, this person is actually a born entrepreneur. This person is actually a created entrepreneur. So as an entrepreneur, so I'll speak from the general side perspective of a born entrepreneur. I'll speak from the general perspective of a born entrepreneur. So first of all, as an entrepreneur, there are certain things that should stand out if you are a natural born entrepreneur. And there are three major things. One is attitude. Two is skill, a skill. And then three is your behavior. Your attitude, your skill, and your behavior. And I want to emphasize on the skill. The skill may not necessarily be a physical skill, as in being trained as a hairdresser, a carpenter, or let's say a welder, or even a mechanic. Your skill to even navigate tough issue is a skill. So you see that in tough situations, a naturally born entrepreneur would have an attitude that is different from a created entrepreneur. So there will be that skill would identify the two, would help you to identify the difference between the two of them. Please, are we on the same course? So as an entrepreneur, you need to have a certain attitude, you need to have certain skills, and then certain behaviors to be able to navigate certain uncertainties. So recently, we saw that there was COVID. In the period of COVID, some people made more money. Some people also lost all of their investments in the period of COVID. And those two individuals, could be in the same industry. Okay, so a typical example is the application we are using now, the Zoom application. The Zoom application we are using now. And then Google has similar ones, and then you also have the team views. But we all realize that Zoom became much popular, even than Google, even though they are in the same industry. I'm not talking about different industry. So it is very important for us to observe these three important issues. 3 points: the attitude of an entrepreneur, the skill of an entrepreneur, and the behavior of an entrepreneur. Good. One of the most important things or attitude of an entrepreneur is first and foremost vision. An entrepreneur, first and foremost, should have a vision. You should first and foremost have a vision. If you don't have a vision, you will not know where you are going. If you don't have a vision, you will not know what you are trying to create. If you don't have a vision, you will not know what you are selling for somebody to even buy into it. So you need to have a vision. Okay? So that is very important as an entrepreneur. And to have a vision is to also have the ability or the capacity to identify certain opportunities. So at this point, can somebody give me an example of he or she identifying an opportunity and in his or her thought, how, if as an entrepreneur, you can take advantage of that opportunity? Can somebody tell me or tell us an opportunity he or she has identified so that we can all share? But in the meantime, so that we don't keep too long, let me put it there as a question. Along the line, we will answer that. Okay, good. An entrepreneur should also have the willingness to change. So times are changing. Let's say you have a shop, you sell cosmetics. Every day you write your sales and everything in a book, as we do in the olden days. They call it a ledger. You write it in a book. And you know that in these days, people are using computers to keep stock and even issue out receipts. If you are an entrepreneur, what are you doing? What willingness are you building to say that, look, times are changing? Even today, we've moved from just using an ordinary computer to AI, artificial intelligence, that would even tell you your stock levels, your sales ratios, your profit and loss, and all of that. So as an entrepreneur, you need to be able to be adaptive to new changes that are coming. Good. One of the most important things that you also need to have as an entrepreneur is the ability to take risk. Having a vision and the ability to take risks. It is not just important. It is not just good. It is not just great to have a vision. But what risk are you willing to take to see the vision come true? What risk level are you willing to use the life of the day? You need to have the ability to take risks. You need to be tolerant to risk. Your risk levels should be very high. Your risk tolerance should be very, very high. It may not always be a great case for you to have your business going on at all times, at all times to be good. Not at all. It will never be so. It doesn't happen as such. That at all times are good for you. There are days that will be bad. There are seasons that things will be so worse that you would even regret that or question yourself. Let me take that word back, not regret, but question yourself whether you took the right decision or you took the wrong decision. So as an entrepreneur, how do you bounce back in a situation where things are not great and you feel like, so it is important that as an entrepreneur, you have that ability to be able to lift yourself up, from difficult situations. It is also an issue of a mindset. So at this point, let me give you a short story. Once upon a time, do we know? Are we all in Takrady? All of us on the line, are we all in Takrady?
No, please.
Not all of us. Okay, do you have some of us who are in Takrady, who live there in Takrady?
Yes, please.
Okay, so have you heard of Spice FM in Takrady?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay. So once upon a time, I was the founder of Spice FM. I brought Spice FM to Takrady. And then on one occasion, I was having a conversation with one of my classmates, not my schoolmate. No, there's a classmate and a schoolmate. So for those of you who went to JHS or SHS, you can be in Form 1 and somebody will be in Form 3. That person in Form 3 and you be in Form 1, you are schoolmates. But the person who is in Form 1 as you is your classmate. So one of my classmates, in the period that I had established the radio station, we were having a conversation. And this friend of mine used to work with Fidelity Bank at the time. That is around 2004, 2005. So in the course of our conversation, and I was telling him about my radio station, and then he made a pronouncement that, oh, even your radio station, I can even buy it with my allowance, not a salary, with my allowance. So at the time I was 32 years old. As a 32-year-old man, I don't know how anybody of you online will feel that your classmate will tell you that your business, you can buy it with his allowance. But anyway, for me, it was a shock. It hit me. That thing that my friend said hit me. At that point, I said to myself that I will never let any of my classmates, I've defined the difference between a classmate and a schoolmate. I'll never let any of my classmates ever say that thing to me. I'm going to develop myself so much that none of my classmates will be able to tell me that he can buy my business with his allowance. Okay? So as an entrepreneur, how do you resist certain things like that? Certain things. So now let's go back to a born entrepreneur and a created entrepreneur. And I believe very strongly that at the point that was said to me, if I wasn't a born entrepreneur, maybe I would have given up. To create a business that somebody's allowance can buy the business would make you feel like you're wasting your time. So if I wasn't a born entrepreneur who spoke to himself, motivated himself, stood strong against such pronunciations, I'd have probably left the business and gone to look for business or gone under somebody's employment to be paid. So as an entrepreneur, what do you think about daily? What are the words that people say to you to either motivate you or to discourage you? And most especially at the point of discourage. A good entrepreneur will resist it. A born entrepreneur can just fall for it. So as an entrepreneur, your risk level, your attitude is very, very important. Another thing that I also want to speak to you about is passion and purpose. Passion and purpose as entrepreneurs. Passion and purpose. Can we have somebody who has passion and does not have purpose? And can you have somebody who has purpose but does not have a passion? The answer is yes. The answer is a big yes. You can have a person who has passion but does not have a purpose. We see that a lot of the times in some of the artisans, for those of us who build or those of us who have cars, that you bring these artisans and you see that this is a talent. This guy is a talent. Nobody needs to tell you that this is a talented artisan. But you need to be calling him, forcing him, cajoling him to come and work. So this is somebody with a passion or with a purpose, but does not have passion to the work he is doing. But how about somebody who also has a purpose, but does not have passion? That also we see that at all times. Somebody with a purpose, but does not have passion. You see that they will be doing the thing, but because they don't have passion for it, they refuse to either scale up, develop themselves, introduce new technologies into whatever they are doing to bring it up into modern times, into bring new technology that will make them even improve. Yes, they do have a purpose, but they don't have passion for it. So you see the difference that I spoke about: a born entrepreneur and a created entrepreneur. So you see that if there's a person who is a born entrepreneur, once he knows his purpose, he will be passionate about it. Once he knows his purpose or purpose, he will be passionate about it. So it is key that as young people, as young students, as you go through school, go through education, that you are preparing to come out of it. Once you identify a purpose, it is important to be passionate about it. Because when you're not passionate about it, you would come out of school and still want to go out there and look for unemployment. Please, am I being heard by everybody? Am I being heard by everybody?
Yes, Chairman.
Okay,
you're
good.
on course.
All right, good. So you need to have a purpose and you need to have a passion to it. Now, let me speak to another thing that is also important as an entrepreneur. It is what we call ethics and integrity. Ethics and integrity. So I'll give a short story about myself. I always want to use myself because I'm the person speaking now. At one time, I was in Accra and I had my workers doing some construction at my site. And then they are short of iron rods. And I wasn't around to write a check or anything. I think as some of I was in a meeting or something like that. And then they needed the iron rods. Because it was midday. They can't go home. There's no iron rods. So I called a friend of mine in Kokompe who sells iron rods. As a matter of fact, he doesn't even sell iron rods, but He deals in irons, so he has access to people who sell iron rods and stuff. So I called him, and then he made arrangements for them to send some iron rods to my site for my workers to work. What does this say? What does this say? It says that because I have integrity, because the guy trusted me, because the man knew that, oh, as for Mr. Abbas, he will come and pay me. He took the risk to give the items on credit, even in my absence. He took the risk to give the items on credit, even in my absence. So, as an entrepreneur, it's very important, very, 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 very important. And you can't trade that to anything else. To have integrity. You should be able to call somebody for the person to do something for you without you even paying the person, without the person even seeing your face, without the person coming to say that, oh, let's sign in card, come and sign something for me before I can give it to you. The person should trust in you enough that whatever it is, you make good of your promise. So as an entrepreneur, it is important. And born entrepreneurs take their integrity as their number one trump card, that they do not want to jeopardize it. Because they will tell you it is what puts bread and butter on their table, their integrity. So as an entrepreneur, you need to have that. It's very, very important. Now, another thing that we need to know, we need to have as an entrepreneur is skill, is to have to be to be a strategic thinker. That's what I want to say. To be a strategic thinker. Remember the days of the COVID. At one time, former President Akufo-Addo came to, when he was delivering the update on COVID, he made a famous statement that we do not know how to bring people back. But as for our businesses, we know how to bring them back. When we let the Ghanaians die, we cannot bring them back. But as for businesses, if it fails, we can bring it back. It takes only an entrepreneur who thinks strategically to bounce back from failure or from a failing business. It takes an entrepreneur to say that these times are difficult, so I need to change the direction of the business so I don't fail. It takes an entrepreneur to say that, look, there's an introduction of new trends, and if I don't keep up to it, I'll be out of the market. So as an entrepreneur, you need to be a strategic thinker. It is very, very important as an entrepreneur. Let me also mention one attribute of an entrepreneur. I think I've mentioned it, but let me give you a title, which is resilience and perseverance. Resilience and perseverance. I've given a lot of examples in what I've said. In the narratives I've already given about myself, about the period of the COVID, and all of that. Resilience and perseverance. Resilience and perseverance. I would want to give a final one, then I'll open the line for questions. The last but not the least is focus. The last but not the least is focus. As an entrepreneur, you must have focus. What is the definition of focus for an entrepreneur? Is to know where you are going the reason why you are going and stay with it. Where you are going, the reason why you are going there, and stay with that reason. That is focus. That is focus. And nothing should distract your focus as you move ahead as an entrepreneur. It's very, very important. If anybody tells you something and it will draw you back, if anybody tells you that there's a new trend and that's what you are following, if anybody tells you something and you get confused, you are not an entrepreneur. You are not even a created entrepreneur. So as an entrepreneur, you need to have focus, to know where you are going and to stick with it. Let me pause right here and give an opportunity for anybody who wants to ask questions on the few points that I've spoken to. If you have a question, you can raise your hand, and then we'll see you, and then you ask your question, please.
Chairman, sorry, I was lost. My network got cut. What's the question?
I said I want to pause here for opportunity for anybody who wants to ask a question on the issues, the pointers I've mentioned, and then we can further deliberate, and then we move on to the next discussions.
Okay, so honorable members, if any one of us have a question to ask, Honorable Abbas, our president of the chamber, has spoken a lot about entrepreneurship.
Fred Duche, you have a question, please.
Okay, thank you, sir. Please, my question is about the passion and purpose. Sometimes when you follow your passion, you end up not being able to acquire certain funds that you need. As in, I follow my passion. I love kids, so I want to teach. So I want to become a teacher. That's my passion. So I end up being a teacher. But then, how do I channel that passion into making a lot of money? As in, you know that Ghana here, you need to get more money in order to live a good life or live better. So in the process of me following my passion, I end up being a normal man, or as in what I want to do, I wouldn't be able to do it because I'm not able to fund the life I want to live because I'm following my passion. Here comes the case that, here comes the case that I can choose not to follow my passion, as in going and pursue another program or going for another job, which will give me more money, and I would be able to fund the life I want to live. But I wouldn't be happy in a way because I'm not following my passion. So how then do I integrate both, as in passion and purpose? Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So what's the name again?
Fred.
Yes, Fred. A very good question. A very, very good question. So you see, you said that you have a passion to teach. But teaching does not make you a lot of money. But you see, when you go and teach, you are not the business owner. You are an employee of a business owner. So if you have the passion to teach and you have an entrepreneurial mindset, you first of all, you wouldn't even think of going to teach, but rather owning a school or taking somebody's school to manage as an entrepreneur. Fred, do you get a difference?
Yes, please, sir.
So your passion to teach means that you have the passion to impact knowledge to other people. So being the owner of a school and having teachers who are your employees, you're also impacting knowledge to people. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So your passion has been fulfilled by having that entrepreneurial mindset that, oh, I love to impart knowledge. But because I want to be an entrepreneur, I'll look for somebody's school who is not being run well, or even, let's say it's even run well, but I want to take up the school as an entrepreneur and own the school, take up all of its responsibilities, have staff, pay them, so that I can make more money as a teacher or as the owner of a school than just as an ordinary teacher. You understand? So now in this situation, we are talking about entrepreneurial mindset. You have identified a passion, you've had a purpose for it. Please, have I answered your question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, good.
Chairman,
Please, anybody else?
Chairman, the Lord is here.
Yes, a lot.
Yes, I think the question is also coming. Many a times, if we listen to entrepreneurs, people who have already got there, they say passion alone is not enough, just as our friend and brother has asked. Will it also not be good enough if you want to be an entrepreneur for you to learn the rudiment or the practicality of the industry or the very business you want to do? In this case, the gentleman wants to be an entrepreneur, but his passion is teaching. Yes, from the answer you gave, to own a school is good because he has that passion of teaching. Won't it be good for him to learn how to teach? And in the course of teaching or working for somebody, he learns on the job, even one, how to teach the ins and outs of managing students in the classroom, on the compound, after school, how to even charge school fees, and later on, maybe having this fundamentals, proceed to own a school. What about that?
Okay, so here we are talking about timing. Does he have the time to go through other rudiments? But that being said, let me give you a quote of one of former President Kufuor's ministers. I think he was minister for roads. He was a designated minister for roads and highways. And during the interview, they asked him of his background. And it had nothing to do with roads and the ministry that he was going to lead. And his answer was that he doesn't have to be a road engineer or a transport engineer to be in that ministry. What he needed to do was to have the ability to bring the people who can do the work together and manage them. Do you understand? So somebody who is passionate about impacting knowledge is the work of a teacher. Impacting knowledge is the work of a teacher. Now he has that passion to impact knowledge. He wants to be an entrepreneur. And my suggestion is that, okay, so instead of going to learn how to teach or going to be in a classroom to be an employee and learn all those rudiments, why don't you go and look for a school? Bring the right people together to manage the school, run the school. You manage them so that they run the school. In that way, your passion has been fulfilled. The purpose of your passion has been fulfilled. And your purpose in life will also have been fulfilled. So you don't necessarily have to go through all of that rudiments to be in a classroom, to understudy and all of that. Sometimes, what if you don't ever get the opportunity to even understand all of these rudiments of the school before now you come and look for the school to manage? What if of that? Okay, so the whole topic of this discussion is an entrepreneur mindset. And he has asked the question of, and let us not forget the basis that, look, teaching is not an occupation that will make you build a house in 3 or 5 years' time. It will probably take you all of your lifetime to build a house. That the teaching alone. So what do I do? And that's why I gave the answer that to have an entrepreneurial mindset, you don't need to get into a class, but look for a school to also manage, because it's at the end of the day, it should have fulfilled the purpose of impacting knowledge. Salud, are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you. I'm following.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Any other question? Any other question?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Let me see. Please, who is this?
Kweku.
Kweku. Kweku what? Redu. Kweku Redu. Apprentice. Yes, Kweku, please go ahead.
You mentioned that we should have an entrepreneurial mindset. What
No, I
if
didn't mention
you have the
that is
mindset
the
and you're like, you said?
I said I didn't mention that is the topic we are treating today.
Yeah, like I'm saying, like, what if you have the entrepreneurial mindset, but your parents are more hell-bent on you going into the working side of things, being employed? They want that security for you.
Okay, Koku, let me give you an answer to your question. Have you read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Yes, please.
Have you read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Yes, please.
Can you tell us, just give us a summary of the book?
Okay, so it's about Robert Kiyosaki's his actual father, and is more like his friend's father.
Okay.
Then his friend's father owns his business, and his father is a teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, so his father works for the government, and his father is more about the security stuff, being secure, being paid. Then his friend's father is more about building businesses and expanding and employing people.
So that's your question. What you have said, does it fit into your answer?
Yes, but my problem is, you see, they take care of you. So like, you can't just say you're moving into the entrepreneurial side of things when you're still sort of under their care. That's why
Okay.
how I can go about that.
Oh, so so let me go back. I said some entrepreneurs are born, some entrepreneurs are created. In the situation where you have the passion to create something for yourself, you have the passion to do something that you know that no, me, I can't be somebody's employee. I can only be my own boss. Those telltale signs, even when your parents want you to work, go to school, come out of school, come and be a chief director at the ministries, even when your parents are on you, the same parent will know that Koku, I'm saying Neniji at the tone, Neniji so no be in a juma. Do you understand?
Yes, please.
So you may be under their roof, but your attitude, if you are truly a born entrepreneur or a creator, will let your parents see you differently and help you in that direction. That is why I asked you if you have read that book, and I wanted you to give me a summary of that book. So that answer to the question is in the book that I mentioned. All right. I don't know if I've given you an answer to your question.
Okay.
Coco, have I given you an answer?
Please.
All right, thank you. All right. Anybody else?
Yes, it's okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Coco. All right. Any other question?
So, Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I think for the sake of time, you can continue with the rest of the stuff so that we can accumulate all the questions together at the end of your submissions.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
So I want to end my submission with a short story. I've given thereafter, I want everybody to tell me some of the things I've mentioned, and then I will sum it up. I want to come to the end of my submission with a short story. Once upon a time, I went to the tennis courts to play tennis. And when we finished tennis, we came to sit at the clubhouse, the same clubhouse. And then I was talking to my tennis colleagues about some work that, my mom has given me. I was young at that time. I'm sure I was in my 30s. Oh, my mom has given some work. We are doing this. We are doing this. We are doing this. We are doing this. So the man asked me a question, and he's an older man. He asked me a question. Into one kasa. A day I didn't know what. Please, are you getting the story? Are you following the story?
Sure, we are.
All the things I was telling my friend and I was yobbing about was not about me, but about my mother. My mother's work that we are doing. We are developing our hotel, we are expanding our hotel, and we are all doing this. And the man asked me, into one case I didn't know what are you doing for yourself? You that you are in school, your parents are paying you. Some of your colleagues didn't even continue your education to be at the level that you are. And probably even doing their own work, doing their own hustle. Some people have probably traveled outside. I want you to ask yourself. I want you to ask yourself that question. That all the things that I see around me, all the things I see around me, whether it's by myself, my friends, my colleagues, my teachers, my friends who did, my parents, what are you doing for yourself? What am I doing for myself? And I want to say that if you think about it deeply, if you really think about it deeply, and ask yourself that question that the man asked me, your life, you should be able to turn around your life. Okay? So, not to bore you so much, I want to end my submission by asking anybody who can tell me, I need 3 people to give me 3 points, 3 different points, nobody should repeat, of the things that I've said, I've talked about today. As an entrepreneur, your mindset. I need 3 people to give me 3 points of what you have learned today. And I don't want anybody to repeat anybody's own.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our guest speaker has finished with his submissions. He wants us
so
to... Okay.
James, you can go ahead, please.
Thank you very much, sir. What I've learned today, 3 things. An entrepreneur is resilient and perseveres. They always back after any failure. The next thing is, as an entrepreneur, you should be focused. That is, you should know where you are going and the reason. Born entrepreneurs know their purpose and are passionate about it.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, James. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay. So I guess either you heard it and you didn't.
Yes, I had a question. Can I ask? Sorry.
Please, who is this? Hello?
This is
Jude. Jude, please go ahead.
James.
Jude, go ahead.
Thank you. My question is, you mentioned that born entrepreneurs, they know their purpose and are passionate about it. The network is not very answer.
Please say it again. You said I mentioned that what?
What happens to those who do not know?
Hello?
No, dude, we cannot hear you rightly or clearly. Can you reposition yourself, Jude? Please, any other person who has a question, submission, or an addition with respect to the question our speaker has posed.
Okay. Lord.
Hello, President.
Okay, so I think it is almost 1 hour that I've made a presentation.
Sure.
Somebody has sent a text saying that you want to connect with me and learn more. Please get in touch with Lord, and then he will put you in touch with me. Okay. If you want to make contact with me, please get in touch with Lord, and then he will put you in touch with me. Okay. All right. Those of you who also want to learn more or know more about me, you can just type in Abbas Miezan. Abbas Miezan. Abbas is A-B-B-A-S. A-B-B-A-S. And then the Mieza is M-I-E-Z-A-N. Okay, so I've sent it into the chat. I've sent my name into the chat. You can Google about me, then you know about me. Okay, I'm on LinkedIn. I would like you to follow me and share as well. I'm on LinkedIn. I would like you to follow me and share as well. So I've sent my name into the chat. And if you want to know about me, you can learn about me and follow me and do this thing. Okay. But I believe that it's been thought-provoking, what I've discussed with you. My line is always open. So Lord will give you my contact. You can send me a text if you want to reach out to me on WhatsApp, and then we can chat. Okay. So Lord.
Yeah, Chairman.
Yes. So these are my final words.
Thank you. Thank you. We are blessed. I think we would have to thank you for availing yourself when we called on you. That's when SPE, Society of Petroleum Engineers, Ghana chapter, called on you to educate our youngsters, our graduates, even those who are still in school, and people who have come out from school and they are still struggling to connect or to get jobs, and those who are still in job or employees and they want to become entrepreneurs. Today, we have enriched our minds as young Ghanaians and as students as well. We would love to connect you being the president or the head of the businesses in Ghana, that's Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We'd want to connect as young guys in order to, follow the footsteps of great guys like Magdan, who happens to be a member of the chamber. A lot of big shots in the country who are doing business are members of the chamber, and you are leading them. So I think right after this webinar, SP would like to know more about you, the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and even how to connect with the big shots that you lead. I think on this note, I will give the chance to our lead, that's Professor Amorin, to say a word. Then maybe we can end the webinar. Professor Amorin.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. I just want to also say that one quality of an entrepreneur is one who is ever ready to sacrifice. We can see that our chairman is very tired, but very, very, very dedicated and willing to sacrifice so that he could impact into us. So Chairman Abbas Mieza, we are very grateful, and we hope to connect even beyond this. I just want to say quickly that though he mentioned that as an entrepreneur, you need to be a risk taker. I just want to say you need to take that wisely, especially to our students who sometimes invest their monies, and in this case, school fees, into betting activities and other we understand ourselves here, so please take notes, get connected, get more advice on how to invest wisely, or at least in terms of taking steps to become an effective entrepreneur. So thank you once again, sir. We are grateful, and thank you all for also joining the call. We pray that very soon we'll be able to connect again on other important issues. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Amorim.
Yeah.
Let me finally say that it has been an honor. I've traveled for about 12 hours before I got to Ghana. I think it's even more than that. The flight time plus the road trip where I was to the airport and coming to Ghana, it's actually been more than 12 hours. And this, as I said from the beginning, it is the invitation has been dear to my heart. And I believe that in the short 1 hour, I've been able to say something meaningful with all of you. My lines are open. Please don't call me at 10 p.m. That I may be sleeping at a time. So don't call me at 10 p.m. But my lines are always open. If I'm not able to pick your line, please, you can always send me a text. Okay, you can always send me a WhatsApp. I do very well with the WhatsApp than the email and stuff. So my lines are open. I don't hide my number from anybody. So say, Lord, please make it available to them, those who want to get in touch with me. And then I'll be happy to mentor or lead them. Okay.
Thank you. On this note, Mr. Banini, our student liaison, Mr. Banini. Is Mr. Banini still with us? I think he's gone offline. So thank you. On this note, we draw the curtains here. Thank you, our fellow participants who joined this important webinar. Yes, having an entrepreneurial mindset. We believe in the next future, we would have a lot of business magnates among us, business people in Ghana, and they will be controlling, the business activities of Ghana. Thank you, Mr. Abbas. Thank you, our leadership of SP and all persons who joined. On this note, I think we can end the webinar now. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Hello, Steven.